What's up? Mr. Oliveras here. Today we're going to learn the big boy factoring, where a is not equal to 1. A could be a prime number or a composite number, So let's go ahead now. Just remember, guys, that there are several ways of solving or factoring where a is not equal to 1. There's a slip and slide, there's a AC method, M method, trial and error, several things, But I'll stick to one way, which is called the slip and slide, which I feel that this is the simplest, easiest way of doing it for me. And most of my students have done it before, and they find it constructive and easy to understand, okay? So what you do here is that, this is a A, that's a B, and that's a C, okay? The first thing you gotta do, I'm gonna write here the step, multiply A and C. Most of the way of factoring trinomial wherein A is not equal to 1 is always multiply the first term and the last term, the A and C. So this becomes multiply, remember that, you multiply A and C, so that becomes now x squared minus 5x. What's 3 times 2 will give me a 6. Now from here, if you notice, this item here is same as your baby factoring, x squared minus 5x plus 6, because our goal, this method, the slip and slide, is to make this equal to 1. So here's what you do. So after that, you factor it, basic factoring, basic or the baby factoring here. So now what two numbers, when you multiply them, gives you a 6. When you add them, gives you negative 5. So the factors of 6 are 6 and 1, 3 and 2. So which one there most likely will give you a negative 5? So they're kind of very similar, But take note, you have a positive 6 here. How do you get a positive 6 when you multiply? You multiply 2 positive or 2 negative. So in order for you to get a negative 5, it has to be negative 3 and negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Negative 3 plus negative 2 will be negative 5. So the answer is x minus 3, x minus 2. Okay? So, but that's not the answer. That's the way to get the final answer. Remember, guys, we multiply A by C. We multiply 3 by 2. What's the opposite of multiplying? The opposite of multiplying is you divide the constant of your factor by A. Means say, we multiply 3 to the 2, so to return and put it back in the same way, we have to reverse it. So I'm going to divide the 2 and the 3 by A, which is 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. If you can simplify it, go ahead. What's 3 divided by 3? 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we know that this will become x minus 1. Can you divide 2 and 3? No. So if you can't divide it, bring up the 3 beside the x there and make it a coefficient of x, 3x minus 2. And that's the answer. One more. Number 2. 5x squared plus 27 plus 10x. Okay? Again, what do we do first? We multiply 5 and 10. That makes our problem x squared plus 27x plus 50. Now it becomes a baby factoring problem. So we write x here and x there. Now you have to think of two numbers, when you multiply them gives you a 50. When you add them, gives you 27. So let's list down first the 50. We have 50 and 1, we have 25 and 2, we have 5 and 10. Which pair of numbers here most likely may give you a 27 when you add or subtract them? You're right, it's 25 and 2. So I'm gonna write here 25 and positive 2. Now, the first thing we did, we multiplied 5 by 10. So what's the opposite of multiplying by 5? Divide this by 5, divide this by 5. Can we divide 25 and 5? Yes, that gives you x plus 5. Can you divide 2 and 5? No. You cannot simplify it, you can't reduce it anymore. So what do we do with this 5? Bring it up there. That becomes 5x plus 2. Kaboom. Very simple, right? Next. Number 3. 12x squared plus 33x minus 9. Okay. When we did number 2, 5, 27, 10, they don't have any common factor. When we did the 3, 5, number 1, 3, 5, negative 5, and 2, they don't have any common factor. Look at number 3. Do they have anything common? 12, 33, 9. Obviously, they're all divisible by 3. So, you have to factor out first the GCF. So, the GCF here is obviously 3, and not all of them have x. So, the GCF is just 3. So, what we do, we normally divide this by 3 and 3. So, now we make our problem 4x squared plus 11x minus 3. Now, you can apply the big boy factoring here by multiplying the 4 and the 3, negative 3. So, that becomes x squared plus 11x minus 12. Now, you can factor the baby factoring and make it what two numbers when you multiply them gives you negative 12, when you add them gives you an 11. The possible list of numbers that works with 12, the factors of 12 are 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 4 and 3. Only 12 and 1 may possibly give you 11 here, so we put 12 and 1. But watch out the sign, it's negative here, so their sign should be different. But this is positive 11, so this should be positive, and that should be negative. 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. But remember, we have to divide this by 4 because we multiply 4 by negative 3 there. Can you divide 12 and 4? Yes, you can. This will give you x plus 3. And then the x minus 1/4, you cannot simplify it, so we'll bring the 4 up there. So we'll put here 4x minus 1. But don't forget that we had a GCF here, which is 3. So we drop that down and put it in our answer. And that's the answer. Kaboom. Hope you learned something.